Hi, welcome to the MayKupp podcast. Please visit us at maykupponline.com. We're happy you joined us today, and as always, please enjoy the show. As you know, it's the season for giving, so please, if you'd like to help those in need, please visit our website at maykupponline.com as we prepare for our 4th annual Grand Holiday Drive. All proceeds go to buying the less fortunate gifts and food for the holidays.
Hello, hey, MayKupp family. This is your host, Dominique Linton. As always, welcome to the MayKupp podcast, and please continue to spread the good word about the show and our company. Visit us at MayKupponline.com. That's MayKupp online.com, and on social media at MayKupp Online. Thank you for taking the time and listening to our podcast. It's available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and of course, more. We couldn't do this without you. As you know, we help beauty students and beauty pros build their business by offering guidance and brand ambassadorship programs that provide sponsorship, mentorship, and hands-on training in the weeds. Yes. Find us on social media or our website to learn more about our amazing company. Well, with all that said, let's get right into this. We have an amazing guest, and not only amazing guest, but a close, dear friend of mine for you today. She specializes in facials only. She is a professional facialist, and she's the owner of Glow with Tara Studio. Let's welcome to the show my friend, Tara Holmes. Tara, what's going on?
Hello. Good to see you.
I know. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
It's been a very long time.
Yes. And for just some background for you guys out there, Tara and I went to school in Hawaii together, and that's how I know this lovely lady. Well, sweet.
We were two of the smart ones.
Two of the smart ones.
Hawaii. Never regret it.
Yes, never regret it. But thank you for joining. This is exciting.
Yes, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. And, just to kick it off, could you tell our guests what it is that you do and a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, I am the owner of my own facial practice here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's called Glow with Tara. I do specialize in custom facials, and also I kind of have an emphasis on sensitive skin types. Having had sensitive skin myself, seemed like a natural segue. But yeah, I guess I grew up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. For anyone who knows where that is. It's a very small ski town right outside Grand Teton National Park. I did not love the winter, hence why I chose to go to Hawaii for college.
Yes,
where great choice. And I specialized in business marketing, or I studied business marketing in university. After that, I decided to move to Austin, Texas, where I worked for a social media marketing agency. And that was kind of where I discovered A, that marketing wasn't really for me, and B, that I wanted to go into the beauty industry. I've always been really interested in beauty, specifically makeup. But growing up, I kind of thought, I can't do that. That's not a real job, And then once I got older and realized that I didn't want to spend my life doing something I didn't love, it just led me down a path of finding what I did love. And at the time I was dealing with some skin irritations myself. So as I was researching more about skincare and just trying to get my own problems under control, I realized that, this is something I could do, and this is something that I really enjoy and love. So I decided to go back to school where I got my master aesthetics license. So for those of you who don't know, you can do kind of multiple programs with skincare, and one would just be your basic aesthetics license. I did kind of a little bit more of an advanced one. So it's has a little more focus on the medical skincare side of things. So microneedling, more intense chemical peels, and then laser. So the program I did was, I think, like 1,200 hours. I'm not sure around the country how many of their how many schools offer it, but specifically in Salt Lake City, if anyone's interested in that, it's an incredible place for advanced aesthetics. So I'm really lucky to have found Salt Lake, and coincidentally just fell in love with the city, and just now very happy to be here. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I love cats, the color pink, and pasta.
Ooh, pasta. I like it.
And chips.
Okay. Well, that's an amazing story. You know, it's always, especially someone that I know, to go through, you know, what we need to go through before we realize this isn't for us, and then finding what we're passionate about, and what we, you know, tend to, I guess, see as like more of a hobby, or like self-education becomes something that you can actually share with others. And I mean, that's awesome. That's a huge move for you to step away from the corporate world and dive into something that you actually really enjoy. And I guess, you know, how freeing was that to finally be in that place and in that spot that you could transition to something like that?
I'll be honest, at first, I think it was the most terrifying thing I've ever done. You know, giving up my 401k and healthcare and all those things that feel very safe. It did feel very scary, but since then, and just looking back, I come home and even if I've had a long day and I'm really tired, I just feel so much happier. And like, I guess I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's just very fulfilling, I think. Yeah. And, you know, of course, everyone has hard days, and it's always going to be challenging in certain aspects, but overall, it has just been the most gratifying thing I've ever done. And I'm so happy I took that leap. And for anyone who is on the fence, or, you know, thinking about it, if it's something you're passionate about, I think, you know, if you can work hard, you're going to be successful. So, yeah.
Yes, I love that. And, you know, I completely understand where you were, because I was in HR, human resources, for like 4 years. And I know that may not seem long to a lot of people, but it was definitely
probably felt like it.
Yeah, it felt like forever. It was a great place for me to kind of build my foundation coming out of college. It was tough, because I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the people I met and the things I learned, but at the end of the day, it just didn't feel like it was for me. And then that's when I decided to jump into voiceover. But with that said, enough about me. This is supposed to be about you.
I think you're right. It is very similar. And it's like, you take the things that maybe didn't serve you, but you learn from them, and hopefully never look back on it with regret, because it's something that taught you or got you to where you are. And there's a lot you can take from corporate world, for sure.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, like you said, it was scary at first, just diving in kind of not blindly, but with not as much, you could say, I guess, resources or support, you know, behind you. Kind of a lot of things you have to do on your own. But eventually you have to get away from your safe place and get out of your comfort zone. But
absolutely.
Here we are. What's going on? And how long have you been in the beauty industry exactly doing facials? I'm pretty sure you mentioned it, but could you actually recap that?
So I'm fairly new in my career. I guess with school combined, a total of almost 3 years.
Okay.
Specifically, like outside of school, 2.5, and then doing my own thing a little under a year. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
So before this, I worked for a med spa where I did cool sculpting.
Oh.
And again, one of those experiences that I'm so grateful for. I absolutely loved it. I loved where I worked, the people I worked with. And cool sculpting was, you know, an incredible experience. But
what
for me,
is that exactly?
Good question. It is body contouring or permanent fat removal. So basically you have this device that you suction the skin in, and it sits on the skin for a certain amount of time at a certain temperature. It's very cold. And it kind of freezes the fat cells so that they then die and are permanently gone.
Wow.
So a lot different than what I'm doing now. And, again, I'm so grateful for it, but it just, at the end of the day, skincare is definitely where my passion lies. And so, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's such a like 180, but I'm gonna need those. I'm gonna need some numbers if you have any recommendations in LA.
Absolutely.
Well, no, that's cool. So then, I guess what led you to focus on facials only, and what is the benefits of beauty pros focusing on one service or a few specialized services that they're good at?
So I think pretty early on, like even in school, I realized that I liked feel good stuff. Again, going back to, I had a program where we were performing laser treatments. So something like IPL, which is a pretty intense laser device. It's not technically a laser, but anyways, just where it's a little bit more irritating to the skin. You don't necessarily walk out of your appointment feeling super happy. You get great results, but it kind of takes a little bit of time. So pretty early on, I realized that like I like the stuff that someone walks out and just feels happy,
just like
ready
to take
great.
on the world.
Exactly. And then just the further I got through school, the further I worked in the med spa, that just kind of solidified for me. However, I also really liked the idea of giving my clients result-oriented treatments. So I think my approach to skincare and facials specifically has always been, how can it feel good and how can you enjoy this and give yourself kind of a treat, but also hopefully over time work towards either preventative aging or targeting something specific. And I don't think I would have been able to get that focus if I had been doing a ton of other services at the same time. So I think that's one benefit of focusing on one service, is that you really can just kind of figure out what your passion and skincare philosophy, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of just like it forces you to figure out what you believe in and where you want to go and your goals. The other thing that I think is important is just being passionate about something. And if you're doing a ton of things that you're not passionate about, if you have this laundry list of services that you're providing and one of them you love or two of them you love, but then the other six you hate so much, but they get you clients and money. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but I don't think it allows you to ever really excel in one thing. And then it also, maybe you're not as happy because you're kind of just doing a ton of things you don't love. So I really think it A, allows you to be happy, and B, allows you to become really good at what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I mean, if it's something you really enjoy, it's not even going to feel like work at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of having fun, making money, making people beautiful.
That's the goal.
And, could you actually take us through? I know that facials have a lot of different focuses, or like, what people may want out of it. I guess maybe a basic type of package or service. Could you take us down like the step by step, what it is that you exactly like do for your clients?
Absolutely. So for me specifically, again, I tend to, a lot of estheticians have like an acne facial, an anti-aging facial, again, just like so many different types of facials within their services. I really like having a very simple, almost like the works facial, and then I customize my actual products to what we're focusing on. And I do this because I think healthy skin is the goal. So for me, like, I don't want you to have to try to figure out what you need. So when my clients come into me, I have a pretty baseline facial. You're going to get the double cleanse, the steam, the extractions if you need it, the exfoliation. And then of course, like a custom mask.
Mhm.
I also really like to add in, for most of my facials, LED light therapy. And this can help with pretty much any skin concern, which I really like, but I can tailor it to, if my client's dealing with acne prone skin or redness in the skin, I can use one certain light. And then if they're focusing more on preventative aging or inflammation, I'll use a different light. So that I really like for just everyone, but then you kind of tailor it to their skin. And then I also use microcurrent, which is a device that essentially helps kind of lift and plump the skin, which I honestly think everyone could use. And it's really, you never get any sort of irritation or anything from it. So just adding in those few special treatments into what a basic facial would be for everyone else. And then again, since the products are so customized, that's just different for every person who walks in my door. And then I always make sure to do kind of like, not add-ons necessarily, but something that sets me apart. So for me personally, like I like to use an herbal concoction in my steamer, so it feels a little bit more elevated. I end every single one of my treatments with a lip product or two. And I also brush up people's eyebrows, because you would be surprised how many people are like, wow, it looks so much better. How did you do my eyebrows? Sometimes you just have wild eyebrows after a facial. And so that's something that's like really cheap for you to do, that you don't have to like charge anyone for, that adds just a layer of benefit for the client. That's just so simple. So that's kind of my facial, basically.
I love
and I hope to continue to add in aspects or further treatments to it. I also do if like someone needs like a specialized or more targeted treatment, I do LED light therapy packages, and I also do chemical peel packages. So again, my chemical peels are probably more gentle than what you would find in a med spa or a dermatologist's office, but they still do focus on either hyperpigmentation, acne, fine lines and wrinkles, so things like that.
Wow, that is amazing. I need to get myself to Utah and get one of these.
You got to come visit me.
This sounds amazing. I was watching one of your videos on I think it was your Instagram. And I think you were giving, it was, I don't know what it's called when you have like the misting kind of look.
The steam.
There we go. The steam. But it looked like you were like massaging their face at the same time.
Yes. And that's a nice part about coming in for like a professional cleanse, is it does feel like a massage, even though I'm just cleansing your face.
It looks so good. I was like, I'm going to fall asleep the second I get Oh, well,
I would love that. That's the best compliment you can give to a facial. It's just falling asleep.
Oh, I can only imagine. You're like, yes, I can fall asleep. Oh, wow. And I guess, how did you come up with this routine? Was it just the years of the school that you went to and, practicing on your own and all that good stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I do think as any person who's going through an aesthetic program or working in aesthetics, there's a pretty set in stone, step-by-step facial, essentially. And like I mentioned, there's always going to be those specific key ingredients like double cleanse, exfoliation, mask, things like that. But I think for me, again, because I wanted that treatment focused or result driven facial plus the relaxation, I did a lot of research into like treatments that felt good for me. I really liked light therapy. I felt better after I got it. It's a mood boost. So I love that about it. I use microcurrent weekly and have seen so many benefits just to my skin. And so I think it came from a lot of like what I personally really like and want to see in a facial, which I think is a great another tip for people is like, do what you would want. It's like, what are the type of services that you would want to go pay for, or what would make you pay more money for this specific treatment? So I think that's definitely kind of where I am at. And as I continue to grow and kind of expand on my treatments, I think I'll just continue to focus on what I would want and what I would want my clients to experience. And
yeah, that's amazing. And, aside from the specific or direct facial services, I guess, do you provide any, guidance in terms of dietary, like what people should be eating? And I guess how important would you say is someone's diet in terms of keeping their skin clean and healthy?
That's a good question. I definitely think, it starts from within. That is definitely one of my biggest skincare philosophies is you're not going to, but it's not necessarily an end all be all, I guess. Yeah. So I never want someone to be restrictive or focus too much on their diet and stop living their life just to have healthy skin. I do think it's a factor. I tend to obviously more encourage a healthy, nutritious eating style. But I would say for the people who that really is a big concern for is typically like acne prone skin.
Yeah.
And so I actually recommend my clients to acne specialists. I think, and specifically in Utah, there's a lot of amazing people who really focus on acne just 100% of the time. And they do have all of those lifestyle, dietary changes, things like that, as much as I would like to pass that along, sometimes it just comes down to like, you need a specialist. Similar to like how I focus on sensitive skin, I would hope that people would send those people my way. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a tricky subject that I'd never like to get too in depth with myself. Just because everyone is so different and I want people to live the life that makes them happy. Yeah. But I'll always kind of ask the right questions of like, tell me about, what you eat and kind of your day-to-day lifestyle. And then if I have suggestions of what they might want to add in or remove, like obviously if you're eating a lot of fast food, unfortunately that probably will show up at some point. Yeah. So I hope that answers the question. Yeah,
you did. I mean, it sounds like you build a rapport with your clients and then kind of base it off of, what their routine is and kind of seeing if there's certain things they could maybe kick out of that routine.
Right.
But that's sweet. I mean, transitioning back to Utah, I mean, we're always fascinated with different parts of the US and the world and what the beauty scene is like. And I know you mentioned it earlier, but what's the beauty world like in Salt Lake City? Do you enjoy that part of the country working in your industry?
Absolutely. I kind of always joke that this is like the Disneyland of beauty industry. Like there is everything here and so many amazing providers. Like this is just the place to be, in my opinion, for the beauty industry. It does mean that it's a little bit more saturated. So that can be obviously a little challenging for those of us in the beauty industry specifically. But I mean, like just brow specialists, people who work in med spas, waxing, like anything under the sun, tanning specialists, teeth whitening, like you can go so many directions here and be really successful and very supported because there's such a big clientele base here. I mean, it's like people really do take care of themselves and enjoy it and find it fun and worth their money. So Utah is quite amazing as far as, I mean, it's probably similar to California. I guess I've not,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I mean, not to put anything or not to put Utah down, but I'm surprised it's here only because I think I'm so used to being in LA. But I almost feel like it would be a better environment only because of course, the people in LA are, they're a specific, they're a unique type. But I feel like also it's very crowded here. And
Right.
I would expect Utah to maybe have a little bit more room for everyone and have maybe a more pleasant type of vibe to it, you could say.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, like I said, I've never been to LA, which is so sad. I need to come visit
Oh,
you.
shoot. Yeah. Get on over
But
here.
I know, right?
Pop up shop. Glow with Tara.
I would love that. Put it on the goal list.
Yes. I know we when we're on the phone a couple weeks ago, we said Hawaii too. You would do it. You would
Yeah.
do that as well.
Yeah, I think I just need to transition my business into pop-ups all over the world.
That would be really fun though for you.
Right?
Just like spread that exposure, that awareness, but then also be somewhere different every
Yeah,
time.
be on
It's like a
vacation
vacation.
every week.
Exactly. There we go. Well, sweet. And as you know, or I guess before I get into that question, I wanted to ask actually, what's like the best, I guess you could say, after or result of a client, I guess in terms of reaction when you finish their facial? Like, what's one of the best experiences or moments that you've had with someone?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Where they're like,
I
"Oh my
think it's
gosh!"
I think it's like when you kind of like, I always like squeeze their head. That sounds weird, but like just apply pressure. It's very
Hmm.
it actually feels very good. And I
Yeah.
always say like, okay, you're all set. And I feel like when my clients like kind of give a like they're almost like sad that it was over, and
Yeah.
then just like sit there and stare at the ceiling. Like you just know that they don't want it to be over. And I feel like
Yeah.
that is such a compliment. So yeah, I would
I
say
love that.
probably that.
Yes. It's like they never want to leave.
Yeah,
They're like, "Can we just get 5 more minutes, please?
exactly.
Please, Tara, help me glow." Oh,
Gotta come
that's
back next
awesome.
month.
No, that's really cool. It's definitely like it's that solid, like visual, like satisfaction, yet, bittersweetness because it's like I feel amazing, but I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, sweet. I mean, as you know, Tara, our company sponsors and helps beauty students and professionals. What would you tell someone who's starting in the beauty industry, if their business isn't going well and they need some encouragement? Could you give them a few words?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question. I guess even though I'm obviously very new to owning my own business and as being a provider, I think like I would leave someone with two words, and that would be patience and authenticity. Patience, because of course, like I think if anyone starts in this industry with a full book of clients, like that's a unicorn. I
Yeah.
don't know how you could ever do that. And I think sometimes it can get really scary and frustrating. It's like, oh, like, what do I do? I need to fill my books and be busy, busy, busy. But
Hmm.
it does take a lot of patience. And through that patience, it kind of forces you to be a little bit more, it forces you to work hard,
Yeah.
forces you to show up on social media, all those things. So, and then authenticity, I think I'm still struggling to find this because it can be really hard online, but just remembering that like you don't have to be like someone else. And especially when you're talking on Instagram or whatever it may be, your clients will find you because of you. And everyone connects and likes a different person. Like you could be providing the same service as 5 other people next door to you and like in a booth rent place.
Hmm.
And people will find you just because they like being around you. So I think just remembering that like being your true self will actually get you booked. And also obviously providing a good service, but
Yes.
be yourself too.
Yes. I love that. Patience and be in authenticity. That
Yeah.
is, I feel like those are two of the hardest things, especially in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have a lot of things so easily accessible at our fingertips, with our phones and things like that, or even just, I don't know, finding where to get what we want. And then also authenticity. We have so many influences around us where we feel like we need to be a certain
compare
way.
yourself.
Yeah, easy to compare and easy to like put yourself down if you're not at a certain level and things like that.
Right.
So tend to feel like you need to change yourself, but don't do that. You're beautiful and smart the way you are. No, I really love that. Those two words, they go a far way, a long way. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, hopefully it helped.
Yeah, it did indeed. But that actually was my last question. Did you have any other words you wanted to share? Any maybe new developments that you plan on bringing to Glow with Tara in the future?
Ooh, I mean, I guess for me, I hope to expand my retail into a little bit more like beauty focus. So maybe some makeup in the future. I also hope to make like my own merch someday. I think that would be really fun.
Yes, please.
So maybe that's on the horizon.
I will get all the merch.
All right. Sending you a sweatshirt.
Yes. Well, sweet. I mean, thank you again for joining us today. This has been an awesome show. If you're in the Salt Lake City, Utah area, please check out Glow with Tara Studio. Please check out Tara's services out on glowwithtara.com. That's glowwithtara.com. And also on her Instagram, Glow with Tara. Thanks so much for being part of this show, and I hope you had fun.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on. And if anyone has any questions, always feel free to DM me, text me. I'm happy to help because it's scary when you're first out of school. So I'd love to chat with anyone.
Sweet. Y'all heard it here. Go check her out. Hit her up. She has all the goods, she has all the information, whatever you need. But thanks everyone for joining us today. If you or you know anyone who is a beauty student or beauty pro that would like to know more info about our programs, please email us for more information at info@7entco.com. That's info@7entco.com. Also visit us online at maykupponline.com. That's MAYKUPP online.com. Also on social media, we are at MayKupp Online. Thanks, everyone. We look forward to you joining us next week as well. Reach out if you need anything. Yeah, anything. Yeah, we're here for you. I'll catch you next time on the MayKupp Podcast. This is Glow with Tara Holmes, and Dominique Litton signing off. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening today. As always, if you're a beauty student or beauty business owner and you would like to hear more about our program, please visit us at maykupponline.com and at MayKupp Online on social media. Thank you.